going to see a Super Bowl win. Like, my window is closing, Fred.
Never know. I mean, it could happen. I could end up at one of these Chauncey Billups poker games.
It's Monday, y'all. Main man, Jersey Fred, what is popping, my brother?
Oh, man, it's been busy, man. Well, especially with the weather. Got the in-laws here hanging out. Beetle Bug chilling in the background here. Say hi, Dave.
Hey, guys.
Look, there he is. There's Beetle. How's Beetle loving San Diego?
Oh, man. Awesome, baby. You can come out here.
I'm coming in June, Beetle. I'm coming in June. So the podcast is brought to us by Secure Door. In fact, because you wouldn't know this, Fred, but it's extremely cold here. On my way to work, garage goes down. I got to make a phone call, right? Call cousin Doug, sends one of his guys out, fixes it, and the next day, God, does it help to have your cousin in the door business? I'll tell you that much. So, guys, if you're looking for residential, commercial door help, reach out to Doug over at Secure Door. Fred, my weekend wasn't as exciting as yours. I'll tell you that much. Daxman went 2-0 in basketball this weekend.
Okay.
All right,
that works.
Our main man, Braylon France, was on the court doing a little reffing and some scorekeeping. So I said, what's up to him? Injury-wise, everything's looking good. So he's ready.
Yeah, I saw he posted a clip. I think he's back, isn't he?
He's back.
Yes.
Back. So pretty excited about that. But the biggest thing is just staying warm here, bud. That's our biggest problem right now, and it's absolutely freezing. Just hey, if you're watching us, we are slowly really pushing YouTube now. We revamped the channel. Obviously bringing on Playoff Mike with the graphics. I know I sent you the graphics of our guest and what he did with that. Mike's just loving it. He's doing some cool stuff from us, so we welcome him to the team. So next couple of weeks. Next week we got our main man Gary. I did confirm. Fred, I gave you one job.
Yeah. I've been busy, man, going to the beach, and it's not easy.
Okay, so what I did is I text Gary just to confirm he's on for next week. So you don't need to do anything. You're good.
Oh, good.
Then the following week we have the class of 2029 stud. Okay. Coming on.
Yeah.
Jordan McDaniel plays for Brother Rice. So I'm actually going to go out. Meet Shane of New Way, both of them are going to be on the pod in 2 weeks. We're going to talk about this NIL stuff. So I'm going to go to the game tonight, Brother Rice versus Stony Creek, and watch this kid do his thing. And apparently he's something to be seen. I'm excited to check it out. So Brother Rice tonight, 7:00. Your agent Brad will be in attendance.
Nice.
So without further ado, though, Fred, let's we have the Winter Olympics. They're starting on Friday. And it's been 8-9 years maybe. And he's probably going to correct me on that. But I think it was about 8-9 years ago I met this guy. Unbelievable his story. He was a short track speed skater. Him and his wife both. Ironically, he was met to me through the real estate business and now owns a company. So Michael Kooreman is brought to us by KOOR Mortgage, who he just started up. But without further ado, I'm going to let him list his accolades that he's got going on. Let me bring to the show, Michael Kooreman. Welcome to the show, my friend.
How we doing, guys?
Great.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Do you see the sun in the background that Fred's dealing with right now? Because now your office, Michael, you're in Canton?
I'm in Plymouth.
Okay.
Yeah. I barely even know what the sun looks like anymore, man. It's crazy.
It is crazy. So
to just live through Fred on this one.
Yeah, little sunshine. He is my ray of sunshine every Monday.
Yeah, nice.
So we have the Winter Olympics coming up, and So I wanted to bring you on, Mike, and I know that I kind of told you we were just going to talk about interest rates and mortgages, and I lied to you. We don't
Right.
care about interest rates and mortgages on this podcast. We care about sports. We are a sports podcast that only cares about vibes. We don't care about stats. That's it.
I'll just speak half the time on rates then.
Yeah. Go ahead and throw out a 30-year fix like after
Right.
a couple questions, and we'll have the people reach out to you
Right.
for some refinance options. But Michael, thank you so much for coming on. Why don't you tell us your story so to tell the audience, and then we have some questions for you.
Oh, wow. My story. Let's go. No, as you've mentioned, I came from a sport of speed skating that was, who speed skates in the US, right? It's not a popular sport. I got into it the same way I think a lot of other speed skaters get into it. My dad skated when he was younger. His dad skated. I think I don't know of many people getting into this sport in any other way. It was just kind of a family thing growing up. I've got 3 siblings, and we found out there was a speed skating club like less than a mile from our house. So we would go just as a family activity, and, a good way to have fun together and stay healthy. And we really got into it. All 4 of us,
Mike.
yeah, all 4 of us skated. My 2 younger sisters stopped skating when they were young, but my brother's actually, he'll be at the Olympics this year. He's the team leader at the Olympics. But yeah, we grew up skating in the club, and then we took it to a level where, I had to move away from home, train with a team. I was on the U.S. national team for 11 years. Some of that was up at Northern Michigan University in Marquette. They have the Olympic training center there. But most of it, I was in Colorado at the training center there with the national team. So it was, unlimited number of stories to tell you as far as those experiences growing up in the sport and competing at a high level and everything. And then I went on to coach at 2 Olympic Games. I was the team leader, which means I was in charge of the other coaches at the Olympics, just making sure that everybody's where they're supposed to be when they're supposed to be there, and just kind of, the guy behind the scenes, making sure everything went well. So yeah, it's quite the ride.
But now to focus in, because we're going to get into the coaching part of it, but to focus in on you as an athlete, didn't you have some? You were almost there. Like you were qualifying, or you did qualify. Is that correct? Why don't you kind of touch
So man, I had the
unfortunate
craziest
situation. I would have said,
Yeah, I had the craziest career. I swear, man. So every Olympic season, I either got sick or injured. And I wrecked my back one year, had back surgery, came back, and still I missed the team by 1 spot. Another year I had mono. Another year I got bronchitis right before the Olympic trials. And it's like all 3 years in between each Olympics that I tried out for, I was on the podium internationally. I was winning medals. I was, in the mix, and it just happened each Olympic season. And that's how it goes sometimes. It's crazy. We talk about like football, where it's, or any of the other, big sports. You got so many opportunities to make something out of it. But in a sport like speed skating, a winter Olympic sport, we're not getting any notoriety for anything other than the Olympics. And so for me, I missed the team by 1 spot, 2 spots, and 3 spots as an athlete. It's just brutal. And I think, to be honest with you, I think that's one of the reasons why I ended up being a good coach, was because there was just something there that I still had to accomplish. If I never got sick or injured, I probably would have gone to the Olympics. I would have maybe been on the podium. All my teammates were. Everybody that I was skating with won medals. That one moment I wasn't there, and so Yeah, in that there was still this fire in me after I knew. I mean, I could have skated another 4 years, but I was like, I wanted to coach too, and I was a bit passionate about coaching, and I've always, I was a athlete rep on the board of directors. I was always kind of in a little bit of a leadership role, and I just wanted to take all of those things that I had learned as an athlete and help apply them, to other people's skating careers. But yeah, it was the good thing, the positives are, man, I got to travel the world as an athlete. I mean, I've raced all over the world and just had the best experiences. And, Apollo Ono, a lot of people know that name. We were roommates for about 6 years at the training center. We trained together, and all of those guys around that time, it was bittersweet watching them compete at the games because I knew I could be there. I knew I was just as fast as them, but I'm sitting at home,
part of the whole situation, to watch the guys you train and work with do it, and you're right there on the sidelines, which, I mean,
the crazy thing is it happens more often than you would think, where there's so many athletes. I mean, we're about to this coming weekend's the opening ceremonies. We're about to watch these athletes compete. There's so many people just like me sitting at home who could easily have been there as well. It's one thing you don't think about, one thing they don't talk about very often. These people you'd never hear about, and maybe they deserve to be there more than people that are there, or they're faster, or they're better, or whatever it is. It's just some circumstance came up leading up to the games that didn't allow them to be there. So, yeah.
It's like one of those things that's like, one little thing. It's like that butterfly effect. Like, right?
Yeah.
This would have, if I didn't catch mono, I could have been a gold medalist. Then, I wouldn't have met so-and-so. I wouldn't, think I would, you know what I mean? Your whole life could have changed in a different direction. Right.
Yep.
Michael, let me ask you this. Now as a coach, what do you say to someone who's given everything they've had to get the best out of what they're doing and just comes up short?
Yeah, that's a huge thing that you don't hear about all the time. As a coach at the Olympics, man, you are going to deal with more disappointment than you're going to deal with success. We see the success on TV. NBC is going to show the Olympic gold medalists, the people who win. You don't get to see those conversations that you have, behind the scenes, when, especially, what went into every single athlete being there, and especially in a sport like speed skating. I don't know if people realize this or not, but I mean, they're at the rink, they're training from, they're probably getting to the rink at 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock in the morning, and they're there until 7 o'clock in the evening, maybe with an hour or two break in between, for lunch and to recover a little bit. But they're training that whole time. It's not like a workout once a day, or maybe throw in twice a day, once in a while kind of thing. I mean, and if you're not working out, you're doing physical therapy, you're, working with the nutritionist, the sports psychologist, the working on your equipment. It's literally nonstop. And so, and then two, speed skating is, nobody's getting paid a lot unless you're Apollo Ono, or unless you're like a bigger name in the sport. There's no financial success or anything involved with it. And so you're in this grind, you're sacrificing time away from your family, from your friends. You can't make it in a sport like speed skating unless you live in Salt Lake City right now, or maybe Milwaukee. There's 2 places where you can live and do the sport at a high level. So you have to move away from home. And so being at the Olympic Games with these athletes, and then we're going and competing against other countries this is their main Winter Olympic sport. So they have tens of thousands of skaters. And so they're going to have a lot of good competitors no matter what. Whereas we got 5, that might be able to compete with them. And in order to do that, for all 5 of those athletes, or maybe it's 10 or whatever the number is that Olympic season, you got to get the absolute most out of them. And that means, as a coach, learning inside and out what works for that athlete. And we literally once a week, we sit down with this committee of the strength and conditioning coach and the nutritionist, sports psychologist, the doctor, the coaches, physical therapists, everybody. And we literally, one at a time, we talk about each athlete, what they're working on, what they're dealing with. Maybe the physical therapist knows that this guy's grandma just passed away or something, and he's dealing with he shows up at practice and he's just not there. Like, what's going on? And he doesn't want to talk about it, And so we're so in depth with all of these athletes, and then we get to the games, and man, like, our heart is on the line for them, like knowing what it took to be there and just wanting the absolute best for them. And that might happen with one of them the whole games, that success or whatever, one or two. Rarely do you have a whole team that ends up on the podium or something. And so, yeah, you're spending a lot of time at the Olympics talking through what actually is happening and what happened after the competition's done. With these athletes, because some of them they literally dedicated every minute of their life up until that moment. And for some of them, like in long track and the 500-meter race, it's 34 seconds. I mean, it's 34 seconds. Right? You got 4 years that you got ready for this. It's 34 seconds. There's around 68 steps in that race, depending on the athlete. And every single one of those steps has to be perfect. I mean, you're talking about the Olympic gold medalist to 10th place, 15th place, you're talking about maybe a couple tenths of a second. So if you are going around the corner and say the block that you're skating around is here and your skate blade is here and you're going around the corner this way, if you're over here, if you're like 6 inches or 3 inches off of the blocks, so imagine going into a corner that's 6 inches further out, 6 inches back, there's a foot, and now do that on the other corner. You just went from an Olympic gold medalist to 15th place. That's how it is. And now, you got that one moment.
When you said, let me go back on that. You said there's 68 parts with
steps. So like from the time that gun goes off until the time they cross that finish line, it's about 68 pushes or steps that they take. And
oh wow, okay. So
I like getting a little detailed here.
Right?
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah. And your body can't, your body weight can't get off. Every single movement has to be exactly right. The World Cups, the World Championships, and the Olympics is the same. Like especially that 500-meter race, people just don't understand what it takes to make that happen. And that's why we see all of the time. My point was, we see all of the time on any given weekend, a completely different podium in that race. There's very rarely is there somebody who just wins all of the time. And that's because you just can't. That gun goes off and you're a tenth of a second slow reacting to it. You just went to 10th place. Yeah. Like it's so crazy. So being there, go ahead.
That's what I was just gonna go into that. So when you finally got to go to the games, okay, you were the team lead. What years were you there and where were you at?
So I had a dual role at the Olympics in 2010. I was a head coach and the team leader. So I was a little busy there. And then in Sochi in 2018, I was kind of a little bit more behind the scenes. I wasn't an officially accredited coach, but I was helping behind the scenes. And then in 2018, I was the team leader and coach. I helped with some coaching stuff, but mostly on the team leader side of things. So, okay. But yeah, that first games in 2010. So I just had been through Olympic trials as an athlete, 98, 2002 and 2006. And those were the teams I missed by 1, 2, 3 spots as an athlete. And so 2010 was my first Olympics as a coach. It was my first Olympics in general, other than being there cheering my teammates on.
So were you a part of the opening ceremony?
Yeah, and that was the moment.
Through that. That's what I want to hear about.
That was the moment. So everything leading up to that and everything, a lot of things after that were all business as usual, just like being responsible for so much at the Olympics, of just making sure everything was done correctly. I took a word of advice from a previous team leader at the Olympics who I really looked up to. When I found out I was going to be the team leader, I went to this guy and he had been a team leader at like 5 different Olympics before. And I just said, fill me in, and he said the most important thing to know is that, well, I guess there's a couple of things, but one, it's all about the athletes. And that's it. Like, protect the athletes, do whatever you have to do to help the athletes out. 2, do not forget while you're there to take a step back and look at it all and soak it all in. Because as a team leader at the Olympics, it's harder to be the team leader than it is to be an athlete at the Olympics. There's one team leader per sport. If you think about that, I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but the way he was explaining it to me was, listen, this is a big deal. Like, you're one out of everybody else who's been selected as a team leader for the Olympics. You're going to be as busy as it gets while you're there. Do not forget to take a step back and really just soak it in and look at what you're doing.
Right.
And it didn't hit me because I was so focused until when you're lining up with all of the other Team USA athletes and you got the flag bearer there, and it's funny, behind the scenes, nobody really knows this goes on in the tunnel at the stadium. All the athletes are kind of like vying for a spot to get up front by that flag bearer, because those are the people who are going to be on TV the most, right? So there's all this commotion under there of right before you get out, you can be in the back, but right before we start walking out, all of a sudden all these athletes try to rush to the front. It's hilarious. And then we just walk out like nothing was going on back there. But anyway, so I wasn't doing that because I was a team leader. The athletes, but I did get to walk in with all the athletes, and this was in Vancouver, and I think it's like BC Stadium or something like that. When we walked out, I think there were I can't remember. I think it was 70,000 people in there. And it was just the lights and just everybody was going crazy. And it's I remember, when I was a kid watching Dan Jansen and Bonnie Blair on TV at the Olympics in 1988. That was, I'd watched the Olympics before then, but 88, I was old enough to realize what was going on. And then 92 and 94, but seeing them walk out in that opening ceremonies, I always remember that moment of what these guys are superheroes. They're Marvel characters to me.
Right.
What a amazing thing. And then all of this, I'm walking out and I'm right by some of my best friends, walking out there, and it's whoa, this is real. We're really doing this. We're here. So I allowed myself to take a moment to just really soak that in. And it was just it's heavy, man, because it was a lifetime of work to be there. And it was really funny after that. So we walk around, we're waving and doing the whole thing. We get to our seats and I'm sitting there and I'm I got, there's cameras on one side and cameras on the other side, and they're pointed at me. And I'm why are these cameras on me? Do they think I'm somebody? I'm, some one of the athletes or whatever. And then I look, a friend of mine's to my left and on my right, I look over and I'm I'm sitting next to Bodie Miller. Yeah, the cameras are pointed at him.
That makes sense.
Yeah. But that's surreal too, is being around those, high profile athletes like that at the Olympics too. It's a different experience.
So now you get to the Olympics, no matter how you get there, coach, athlete, whatever. I guess my question is, I know Brad loves the accolades and all that stuff. I want to know what goes on at the Olympic Village.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's, are you hinting at something? It's a lot more. The Olympic Village is a very, very cool, unique experience in itself, just because it is very, very a secure environment. I mean, there's like walls with barbed wire around sometimes. Like you are like nobody's getting in there, and you're not getting in and out of there unless you got your credentials. You go through a couple different gates to get in and out of there. And it's a very, very cool place to be during the Olympics, because there's just such a good, like this energy that everybody has, like everybody's there for the same thing. And just, there's usually like dormitory rooms for everybody, the athletes and the staff. We're all together, kind of like you would be in a hotel. There's a cafeteria, which is like, you don't think about it before you go, but then you're sitting there and, there's Shaun White coming in, or Ovechkin, or like, all of these different high profile athletes. And they're just, everybody's just in there getting their lunch. And, and you sit with random people from different sports and make friends that you never get to do, because we're always together as the speed skating team. And now we're sitting there with the snowboarders or the hockey team or whoever it is, and we're just hanging out. And it's just, that's a really, really unique experience. But yeah, everybody always wants to know about, what happens in the village.
Right.
There's a lot of attractive human beings in there.
I'm assuming it's like Vegas.
Yeah. Just like Vegas, no, it's funny because that's another thing that people don't realize is at the Olympics, because it's over 2 weeks. There's a lot of athletes there who don't compete until the end. And then meanwhile, there's a lot of athletes there who maybe their races or their event was the first day and they're done. So then they're hanging out the rest of the time. And you have this interesting dynamic. So everybody knows, like, at the Village, you're not partying at the Village. Like, nobody's doing that, because you just, out of respect for everybody else who's there competing and stuff like that. And the cool thing is at the Olympics too, they have all these different countries and businesses all they call them houses, the USA house, the P&G house, all these different places to go to, where they've got just open bar and dance floors and everybody just hanging out, celebrating. So that's where you go. If you're an athlete or a staff member who's completely done for the games, you go out to those types of places and hang out. And they're also great meetup spots for family members, because no family is allowed inside of the Village. And so you'll leave the Village and say, we're going to meet up at the USA house at whatever clock, and your family can go in there and you can meet up with them, because you don't want to just be going out random places and hanging out. You want to make sure you're in a secure environment. I was in, during the 2010 games, the USA hockey against Canada, the gold medal game, I was downtown at one of the houses, I think the Budweiser house or something like that. I didn't get tickets for the hockey game, so I watched it there, and then I was walking back to where the buses were going to ship people back to the Village, and holy cow, I didn't feel safe on the streets walking around with USA stuff on during that game, or just after that game, because they were like riots on the streets there, because obviously Canada is going to take that hockey game pretty seriously. So it's pretty intense.
That's really cool. What an awesome opportunity. Let me ask this: who's the one person that, in all this experience that you've had and all these places you've traveled, who's the one person you met that was like, wow, like, I can't believe I just met this individual? I'm sure there's a ton of them, but there's got to be one that just like, holy cow, that I can't believe I just shook this person's hand.
Yeah, that's a tough question to answer, because I honestly have never really been into like wow by any athletes, because I feel like I've been so deep down in the preparation and the focus on the sport and whatever that, and I've been around these, high profile people a lot too. So I never really felt like, oh, I'm like starstruck by anybody. I will say though, that growing up in the sport of speed skating, Eric Heiden was always a hero of mine. I mean, 5 gold medals and 1 Olympics. I mean, he's arguably one of the greatest Olympians of all time. And so I grew up, like I said before, these athletes thinking he's like some Marvel character, like he's walking around with a cape on and whatever. But he was our team doctor. And so he would travel with us to World Cups around the world and everything. And as time went on, I got to know him pretty well, and we'd sit together after dinner and talk and whatever it is. And it's just, and hear all his stories from back in the day and realize he was just a guy too that was there with all of his buddies having fun. And he just happened to be, that good too. The guy was an animal. I mean, he won 5 gold medals in 1980. Then he went to go on I don't know if everybody knows this, but he was a cyclist and he did the Tour de France a couple times. Now he's a doctor. I mean, this guy's like a freak of nature, but
here I thought you were going to say the El Chapo of the Winter Games. I thought you were going to be like, that's the coolest guy I ever met.
Yeah.
What's that guy's name? Ryan something? Are you familiar? You're familiar with him, Fred?
Ryan Wedding?
Yeah, Ryan Wedding.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't think
he's a good one.
Mike, you got to do your homework. This is pretty interesting. Yeah. I thought maybe you were going to spill the tea on him.
No.
No.
But then too, I mean, there's a lot of, just like I said, in the cafeteria at the Village, hanging out and just talking to Shaun White or talking to, it was funny. The first time I saw Johnny Weir, the figure skater, he had on this like, he shows up in the cafeteria. Everybody's dressed like this, right? Their team gear on, whatever. He walks in, he has this like coat on that is made of like black feathers, and it's got these huge black feathers sticking off of the shoulders, and it's all the way down to his feet. And it's like this like Loki character showing up in the like, what is going on right now? There's some funny experiences like that too.
That's awesome.
Let me ask you this: I know you did mention the hockey game. Outside of speed skating, what event do you look forward to watching it or checking out?
I'm a huge hockey fan. I love hockey. I know you guys are mostly football, but no. All right.
Fred's everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm a huge hockey fan. Actually, that's one of the people I met too that it was fun to meet was during the 2014 Olympics. My wife was competing, which is a whole different dynamic. And I was at the venue watching one of her practices, and we had seen Mike Babcock in the cafeteria a couple times. He was Team USA coaches that year, but he was also the Red Wings coach, and I'm a massive Red Wings fan. And so him and I sat for an hour talking about the sport, talking about speed skating, talking about hockey or whatever, right there at the Olympics. And it was such a surreal moment because I've only seen him, in interviews on TV or whatever, and now I'm just sitting next to the guy talking about sports. So that was a fun one.
And we actually didn't even mention that, but now that you brought it up, your wife competed in the Olympic Games in the same sport, correct?
Right, in short track. Yeah.
I believe she's called Super Fit.
She is. So I was a good athlete. She's a freak of nature. She's 16-time world champion, 2-time Olympian. She hasn't raced since 2018 was her last games. She still has an American record that hasn't been broken yet. She's one of those athletes that's just, best in the world.
I also saw a story on on social media this weekend. She looks like a great bowler too. Is there anything that I've actually personally golfed with her, but I don't think at the time, this was years ago. This had been 4 or 5 years ago, right, Mike? At least.
Yeah, probably 5 or 6 years ago.
5 or 6 years ago, and she didn't really golf, but she's going. You can just tell it's just natural. Both of them, like you can tell they don't play golf a lot, but they're just natural athletes.
She probably hadn't touched a golf club in like a year, or 3 years, maybe even before that. And it's funny. We've got 2 kids now, and we wanted to eventually we're really focused on them, but wanted to just do something, for ourselves in the last year or so. So I think it was Mother's Day or her birthday. I got her a private lesson for golf or whatever, and she hadn't been golfing at all. Right. And she walks in. She was at Fox Hills here, and she goes in, and the guy doing the lesson, this guy is amazing. He works with pros. He's a real golf pro. And he saw her walking in, and he was probably just like, just like another housewife coming in, he's going to have to like take her through the motions and whatever. And she goes in and tells him that she hasn't golfed in forever and whatever. So she takes a couple swings, and he's like, okay, now do this. And then she does it like exactly the way he told her to do it. And she's like, she was telling me this. He's like, okay, do this. And she did it exactly how he said. And he's like, wait a minute, you're like an athlete or something, right? And she's like, yeah. And then she kind of told him about her past. And he's like, ah. And then he got really into it. He'll send her videos sometimes, and like they'll text about like things she's working on or things to do. And like, just like that, just instantly doing things correctly after being told one time. Whereas, a normal person, it's going to be like, weeks or months or years to even like pick up on that stuff. That's the kind of athlete she is. She can do it. She can do anything she tries to do. It's amazing.
Yeah, that's really cool. So yeah, great person too.
I'm assuming that as a coach and as a husband and a fan of hers, watching her story develop, I read about, incredible comeback story just for her in general. How was that to watch?
Yeah. It's such a interesting dynamic of, especially like when we first started dating. So I coached the German national team for 3 years, and I was actually in Germany when for my first World Cup. We took the team to Moscow. So actually I was coaching in Germany. We were in Moscow for a World Cup, and I'm in the lobby checking in, and the US team is walking in the lobby at the same time. And Jess and I had seen each other before. We'd said hi to each other. We didn't really talk ever. And for some reason, her and I gave each other a big hug right there in the lobby in front of everybody. And then we went our separate ways, and we were like, that was weird. And then we started hanging out and talking. And then we did the distance thing for 3 years while I was coaching in Germany after that. So I'm a national team coach in a foreign country dating a athlete from the US, and just, I don't know, interesting dynamic there. But then when I came back, I was never her coach directly. I've coached teams that, like, she would be on a team that would train with my team. So I would always help with, like, mindset stuff, or with her equipment, or talking through things, or whatever it was. And man, I'll tell you, there is nothing like standing on the side while your wife's out there competing at the Olympics. It's just, my heart, I've never felt my heartbeat like that. Even when I skated, I didn't get nervous. I was doing my thing. When I'm coaching, of course, I want the best for my athletes, but man, it's a whole other level when it's your wife,
That's really
it's
cool.
intense.
That's amazing.
That's really cool.
And actually, in the last, so we lived in Salt Lake City for a while, because that's where you need to be. And my job was as a our last 4 years there, I was the program manager. So I oversaw the sport of speed skating from the club level all the way up to national teams. I would coordinate everything between the pipeline. And then I was also, with that job, I was the competition director. So any competitions that we had, I was in charge of hosting them, organizing them, putting the schedules together, getting the volunteers together, making sure everything ran the way that it's supposed to. And everybody knew when Jess was competing, I had my spot that I would go to. I'd take my program manager or competition director hat off and go over to my husband's spot and stand there and scream and yell and cheer like a husband, and I'd put my headset back on and, go handle whatever tasks I had to handle. But so in 2014 at the Olympic trials, she swept the trials. She won every distance. And so it wasn't as nerve-wracking because she was so much better than everybody else there that she was going to make that team no matter what. In 2018, it was a completely different trials. She, right off the bat, going in the very first race, or the A final, going for the finish line, her and another girl were going for first place, and she fell down. And a lot of times they won't call this, but every once in a while, if they feel like you may have impeded somebody else going to the finish line and you fall down, you get disqualified. Well, they disqualified her. So in short track, you earn points in each race. And so if you don't get any points in one of the races, you are not in a good spot. And so for the rest of the trials, she was in comeback mode. She had to make something happen. And all the way till the last race, it was between her and one other girl to make the Olympic team. Whoever beat who in that race was going to be on the Olympic team.
Talk about it.
And yeah, going into the second to last corner, they both fell. And I'm like, my heart just jumped out of my chest. I'm screaming so hard, and I'm like, for her to get up and go, because one of them's probably going to get disqualified, but we don't know. You don't know. Maybe they don't call anything. Maybe it was just because if you click blades on accident or something, they're not going to make a call. It was an accident. So it's whoever gets to the line first. So these poor girls, Jess and this other girl, and actually it was Kristen Santos, who's our number one girl that you'll see racing at the Olympics this year. That's who it was, her and Jess.
Really?
And so, yeah, I'm on the pads, screaming, get up, go, go. And she hopped up and they raced it. When your body's that full of lactic acid, you can't barely even move. And they both got up and she beat her to the line. And the other girl ended up getting disqualified anyway, but yeah, you didn't know that at the time. So it was, that's a husband moment. I went running over to the side, and it was funny because Apollo, who is my former teammate, he's commentating for NBC at the trials. And then the cameras were on me and I didn't know it. I'm going around and Jess gets off the ice and we give a big hug and kiss and whatever. And yeah, so now we got a nice little video from NBC as a nice little keepsake.
I've actually seen that video.
Yeah. Yeah.
I saw that video. And
that was a good moment.
That's awesome. Well, congratulations. Yeah. But can't thank you enough for coming on. I'm excited. I'm going to do my very best to make it out to see you on Thursday to do your.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Hopefully the weather holds out. I talked to Glass. I might even get him to come down with me.
Bring him out.
He gave me a definite maybe.
Nice. That's a pretty solid answer. Yeah. Yeah. It's really funny. We're going to do an Olympic watch party with Jess and I, where we're going to watch some speed skating events with, people from our business or other businesses or just, friends, and just kind of give our insights while the athletes are competing. So it'll be a fun event.
I can't wait. I'm looking forward to it. He's doing that on Thursday. Fred, you got one last question for Michael?
No, I will say my prediction is Jordan gets a gold. I think Jordan Stoltz gets a gold. That's my prediction. I don't know. I hope that Joey and Tommy can get on the podium as well. But I got Jordan.
Yeah.
What's that?
Yeah. Jordan Stolz is we call him like an athlete like him, a once in a generation type athlete. You just don't see somebody like him very often. That being said, the Olympics is just the craziest thing. That guy, he's won every 1,000 and 1,500 meter for the last like 4 years. I mean, you can't beat the guy. But the Olympics, all of a sudden, people come out of the woodwork. Somebody has a race of a lifetime. So you never know what's going to happen. But somebody like Jordan, especially in speed skating, it's so specialized now. It's like people really are only medal contenders in one distance. He's a medal contender in 4 distances. So I think he's going to win 2 golds. I think he's going to win 4 medals total. It's going to be awesome. Yeah.
Can we bet this on FanDuel?
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know either. I just thinking about that. Like, you seem pretty confident. Where's my phone?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I know. With all that stuff, I haven't even looked into that. Yeah. All right. So Jordan's going to win 4 medals. Our men's team pursuit team will be on the podium. They've got the world record. They've been winning everything. Hopefully it's gold. 4 years ago, they won everything. And then they were bronze at the games, which is great. Nothing wrong with that. But when they're dominating, they're winning races by a full second. In speed skating, that's a lifetime. Right. And so, yeah, I think we got a medal there. We've got some other contenders in a few other races. So in the long track side, that's going to be really, really exciting. Because like Erin Jackson, who was Olympic gold medalist in the 500 meter 4 years ago, she's back. Brittany Bowe, who's won medals in the past, she's back. We just got such a great team. And then on the short track side, we've got a couple girls, Corrine Stoddard and Kristen Santos, who are, I mean, they're winning medals almost every World Cup. So they're contenders there. Our relay teams are really good. So it's going to be, this is one of the best teams we've had in a long time at the game. So speed skating is going to be fun this time around.
Awesome. I can't wait to watch it. I'm super stoked. Again, thanks for coming on. I guess one last question for you, Mike. Who you got in the Super Bowl this weekend?
Oh, man, how are these teams even the teams that are in the Super Bowl? I'm still trying to wrap my head around it. I had LA called earlier in the season. Of course, I call the Lions every year, but I know the answer to that. And so I thought the Rams were going to take it, and now I'm just like, it's crazy. I mean, if you look at the stats, I don't know. I think right now they've got Seattle favored a little bit, but it's so, and Darnold in there, like what? This is the craziest Super Bowl we've had in a long time, because it's like before it was always a little predictable, it's like, but now I don't know. I mean, it's crazy. So
you got to throw.
Do you want me to call somebody, or
you got to make a pick?
I'm going to go with Seattle.
All right. I think all 3 of us are on that wagon.
Are you? Okay. I didn't know.
We made our picks last week. We all said Seattle. I think we're on it. I'm going to hedge this bet though too, and then throw a little on New England just to be nice. You never know. But Michael, I can't thank you enough for coming on. I appreciate you. It's great talking with you, my friend, and I will see you on Thursday.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
All right. Take care.
Thank you so much, bud.
Wow, that was awesome.
Crazy.
Yeah. Just to be able to, and I even got the chills for him telling the story about, going with his wife. You know what I mean? Like, you're thinking about it, like in that situation, it had to have been crazy. Absolutely crazy. But we got some more guests coming up next couple of weeks. Fred, what's your, I got a little game I want to play with you. Okay.
Go ahead.
And it's grade the coaching moves in the NFL, because there's so many. Okay. I'm going to have you give it a letter grade. Okay. On each one. And I'm going to go through it. So number 1, Falcons, Kevin Stefanski, give me a grade.
That's a B.
Okay. That's a B. Ravens, hiring Jesse Minter.
I think that's going to be like a C move.
Ooh, okay. Here's one that's very interesting, and I'm curious what you're going to say. Bills, Joe Brady.
Yeah, I'm not so sure about these. A lot of these guys, you have no clue what's going to happen. I'll give that another C. Average is C, because we don't really know. I mean, I guess we could grade them in 10 years from now, but right now, I mean, there's not much to go on, but speculation. I would go with a C.
My whole thing with this was like, we need to, you get rid of Sean McDermott. You say you want to revamp the system. This is a very, I hate to put this on the Bills, but it's a very Lions-esque move to make. Like, you want to revamp everything, but you bring somebody from the inside. Like, I don't get that. I don't understand that. Like, isn't the idea a fresh start? Here's going to be a good one. We got the Browns, Todd Monken.
Yeah, I'm not. I think that's a D. I don't think that's going to change things. I think there's a lot of pieces that probably will be moved within the team as well, especially with all these teams making the head coaching moves. There's going to be some other moves. I mean, it's happened with the Steelers already. After Mike McCarthy.
Dolphins, Jeff Heffley. Am I saying that properly?
No. The guys I don't know, I'm going to go with like a C because, I'll go down the middle.
Giants with John Harbaugh.
Giants, I'm going to give them a B plus A. Like, and the one of the reasons is, and I'm not a homer, and you know that, because I'm a Steeler fan. But I really think that regardless of the coach, I think that this year's team is going to be a lot better than they were last year. Malik Neighbors back, Jackson Dart on a full season, and health. So, like, it might seem as if it was going to be a Harbaugh thing, if they do have a better record, but they were going to have a better record, regardless of who the coach was. So, like, I think that's going to be a little, and I just think that if you're going to, he's a big time name. I mean, he's big.
For sure. Titans, Robert Saleh.
I go with the C.
Ooh. And last but not least, because the Raiders haven't officially made their announcement yet, as of right, since we jumped on, let's put it that way. Last but not least, Fred, and we didn't talk about this last week. The Steelers hire Mike McCarthy.
Don't like it. Not crazy about it. Obviously, they're not going with they hired Cower when he was young. They hired Tomlin when he was young. Now you're going to hire a 62-year-old guy. So, like, you're not going with the same, Steeler formula, obviously. So I'm assuming two things that I don't like about it. One is I think I would rather, with the tradition, I like guys that are there for 15 to 20 years. I like it. It worked out.
It means you're winning.
Yeah, exactly. And no losing seasons. That was fantastic for Tomlin. But I don't like it because I feel like this brings back Rodgers for one more year.
That was going to be my next question.
So not crazy about that. I understand the win now mindset. But bringing Mike McCarthy in and Rodgers is not really a win now thing. Like, it's not like, he comes with Patrick Mahomes,
Right.
So, like, I don't really, I don't like that. We'll see what happens. I wasn't crazy about that. I will say this, as Michigan fans, you should be very happy about some of these moves. Our offensive coordinator, Steelers offensive coordinator, is now over at Ohio State. I think that he's going to get booed out of the state. So I think that's good for Michigan. Probably the best off-season move for Michigan football, considering all the drama that's been going on. That's probably the best move for U of M is Arthur Smith becoming the OC at Ohio State.
Like this, yeah, that's hilarious. You were always looking out for us.
Yeah. Well, it was weird because when I saw he was taking the job or being interviewed and stuff like that, I'm thinking like, oh my God, like football's a different animal. College football's a different animal when it comes to coaches. Like, yeah, you can get booed out of the stadium in the pros. I mean, but like in college football, the entire city, the state is like, they'll lynch you. Like,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, it's different.
I feel like you have a little more protection in the NFL.
For sure.
So
places like Ohio State or Alabama or Auburn.
Yeah. I mean, you have like 2 bad games, you're getting fired. Like,
no,
like, no. So it'll be interesting, but yeah, no, that's about it.
You didn't give me the grade though.
I'm gonna go C. I mean, it's like,
wow.
That's
high. I think that's high. I thought you were going way lower.
Well, I am I'm optimistic personality, so I don't want to go in the D and the F. Like the best meme about the McCarthy hire that I saw was hiring McCarthy is like shitting your pants and changing your shirt.
I actually saw that. It was awesome.
And I couldn't agree more. Like it was like whoever had that meme, that's an amazing meme. And it couldn't be any more accurate. So that, it is what it is. But we'll see. Like the dude's a winner. I mean, I get that part of it. I don't understand what he's bringing to the table, I guess. And I'm ready to move on. Like I'm okay. Like I've seen, a lot of good seasons, some shitty playoff games and stuff like that. But, seeing a couple Super Bowls in this era of, and I'm ready to get moving forward with coach, OC, DC, even maybe. Now we need a special teams guy, and the quarterback. So it's still up in the air about the next, the next quarterback of the Steelers.
Right.
I don't mean if Rodgers stays one more year. If that's one more year, we're one more year away now still
from finding. Yeah. Yeah, we got the waste management this weekend. Get a little fun fact for you. Brooks Koepka is now came back to the PGA. Okay. Brooks Koepka won in 2015 and 2021. When he won in 2015, you know who was playing in the Super Bowl?
Seahawks.
And?
The Pats.
Crazy, right?
Yes.
I think it means I think we put a little cheddar on Brooks, even though he had a rough weekend last weekend.
Okay.
Maybe just sign.
They were over by me this weekend.
Yeah, a little Torrey Pines action. I text you. I said, "Hey, are you?" Yeah. I thought you were. Honestly, I thought you were looping for your for Maverick, but maybe because your in-laws were in town.
Yeah, and we were up. We were right by Torrey Pines on Friday night. We were driving up. We went for some drinks in La Jolla downtown.
Amazing. I cannot.
On our way to Del Mar. So we were right by Torrey Pines there. We didn't stop in and say hi to the guys, but we were there. Yeah. I don't have time.
I get it. You got a full schedule. We got the NBA trade deadline on Thursday. It's very interesting to see if the Giannis thing's going to happen. Hopefully it's not here in Detroit. I just don't see that being a move that's going to be beneficial long term for the Pistons. But I don't know. We'll see. I hope we don't. Like I don't think it is.
The last big move the Pistons made was Blake Griffin at the end of his career. That's it. That's like just I know.
I'm not going to argue with you. I agree. Well, we did take ass whooping on your squad yesterday.
Yeah, I mean PG-13 hurts now. It's not PG-13 anymore, but like PG-8, I guess. But yeah, out for 25 games. So PEDs. But I don't know if
I don't know if that's what it was. There's a little more to it. Apparently, it was a recreational drug and was not a PED.
Yeah, and I agree. They're labeling it as a violation of the drug list. Now it can't be marijuana. So
Marijuana's fine in the NBA. It's promoted. It's actually a logo on a couple of jerseys.
yes. So it would be interesting to know what it was. I think it was shrooms.
That's been thrown around.
Because he did talk about his mental health and well-being. So he could be like microdosing some shrooms and stuff like that, which is cool. I don't see a problem with
either.
I don't either. But I will say this: as of last week, it was the first time the Sixers had their lineup, their starting lineup that I think can win the East. The starting lineup. And now this happens. And of course they test him after he hits 30, 9 weeks. So I don't know. It's just, it sucks. But also not really concerned about, NBA, NHL too much right now. With the Olympics.
We got the Olympics. Oh, speaking of sports though, Fred, I told you I bought that box.
Yeah.
Okay. Watched the end of the Royal Rumble for the first time in 20 some years.
Okay. Did you enjoy it?
It's okay. I did. I knew like 3 people. Roman Reigns. See, I don't even remember. Not Brock Lesnar. Was Brock Lesnar in it?
Yeah.
Brock Lesnar. And then I think there was another one. I missed it. I don't know. It's different now.
It's funny you said that because when they were promoting it, I was thinking to myself, maybe I'll watch it, and last year I did watch Mania. And the only reason I watched Mania, I think I told you this, was because I got to watch it on Peacock, maybe.
Yeah, okay.
So I could fast forward and stuff. I didn't watch it live. I watched it 3 days later.
I may jump into a little Mania now that I have this box. Why not?
Yeah, and but yes, I was thinking about getting into at the new year, getting into it at the beginning of January for Mania season and stuff like that, but I didn't. But yeah, no, it's interesting.
So speaking of wrestling, we'll transition into our last segment, and then we go, because we kind of ran a little long with Mike, but I did not care one bit because that was probably one of the coolest interviews we've done on this podcast to date. But what we watched, and speaking of wrestling, I didn't bring it up. Fred, just tough Sunday yesterday. I don't know, you saw me they got a little pedicure, things to do to kill time with no football, no golf. And people were like, well, there's golf on. I was talking about me playing golf, not golf.
Yeah.
Me playing the sport of golf. But speaking of wrestling, I watched Wrecking Crew.
Okay.
With Batista.
Yeah.
And Jason Momoa.
Yes.
Awesome movie.
Okay, I just saw the trailer for that while I watched something else. Looks good.
I thought it was good. I text Cousin Doug immediately. I said, put this on your list. You will love it. I promise you. That movie, everything about that movie screams Cousin Doug. Everything.
Uh-huh.
So I did watch that.
It looks. I did not.
Okay. Apparently, Nolan told me that you have to rate things on a scale of 5. I sent you a text message. I think that the weirdest thing in the world when he threw me a 3.5 out of 5 on a show. Oh, that was on California. I'm like, I responded immediately, and apparently these kids have an app and they rate things on a scale of 1 to 5. I don't like it. I feel like it's a terrible scale, but we're gonna stick with it. And I'm gonna give
Oh.
Cinders like a 2.5. I mean, I'm not
Really?
I'm not a vampire guy. Like,
Okay.
I'll tell you what,
That
though, I'm a Michael B. Jordan guy.
Yeah,
So
you're a Creed guy.
I'm a huge Creed guy. Tell Me Lies season 3, I started that is pretty good. And then caught another show again, just kind of thumbing through Luckiest Girl Alive with Mila Kunis. Watched that last night too. Interesting show.
Okay. All right.
I didn't get to your Leo movie. I watched the preview 3 times, bro. Couldn't get down.
Yeah, we didn't watch anything since the last time I talked to you. We've been really, I had to iron out the red carpet for the in-laws as they were coming, pick it up at the dry cleaners, roll it out front and stuff like that, get the place ready for the Royals. So, I've been in butler mode ever since. So I haven't, there's no TV in my quarters. So,
wow.
Yeah. So,
All right. Well, we'll wrap it up. What are you doing for the Super Bowl? Anything?
Staying home.
All right. I think that's what I'm doing too. I don't hate it. Maybe have a couple guys over or something.
I'm not a Super Bowl party guy. I don't like it. I feel like it's like my buddies do it, and I think it's crazy because nobody's watching the game. There's kids running around, everyone's yelling and screaming, and people are just yelling out their squares numbers, and I'm just like I'm trying to watch the game, So I like to. What's that?
I said, speaking of squares, I think I have like 10.
Yeah, which is fine, but I don't need you to keep yelling out stuff while I'm trying to watch the game. If they score and miss the extra point I don't give a fuck. I'm trying to watch something. I got a square too. Great, and I'll check it Tuesday to see if I win.
I'm just gonna wait for the text. I might look at a couple, but yeah, I didn't even do mine this year. But
yeah, I do like to. I've always stayed home, and I like to watch the game. From start to finish with the commercials, that's
way to go.
Yeah.
So. All right, Fred. I will see you next week. Tune in next week. We got our main man Gary doing our annual recap of the Super Bowl. I'm excited to have him on. We're going to talk about the Benito Bowl, which I'm super excited for that. Watched a little documentary on him, and he's crushing it with the Grammys last night.
Yes.
Talking about the food we ate. We're going to talk about the game itself, the commercials, the Benito himself. But we will see you guys next week. Take care, y'all.